You've already revealed too much, Mum.
Yeah, no, you only went through a tiny little trying period.
Trying? What's that mean?
Trying.
Trying what?
Trying different things.
Yeah. Trying alcohol. Trying.
Oh, right. Where you would find like vodka down the side of my bed.
No.
You never found the vodka that was in?
No, I did not.
Well,
No. Just
Yeah,
remember when you tried to pretend Liam had slept over and wasn't Liam.
yes.
Yes, I know.
Yeah. No, I didn't.
Well, there were so many times when Liam slept over and you didn't even notice. Because you would say to me, now she can't come over tonight because you haven't done this or whatever. I was like, yeah. And then she would sneak her in and you wouldn't know.
No, it was more that I didn't want it to be a revolving door of females. It was like if you have a partner, that's okay, but you're not going to have, you know.
Yeah, well,
Not that you were like that anymore.
Yeah,
You weren't like that, no. You weren't like that,
I
thankfully.
used to wake up some mornings and think on the weekend now, I'd say, my husband, you better get dressed for that night, who's going to come out of it? And then I thought, so you might have cooked breakfast for two more today.
Oh, dear.
Anyway, sorry, sleep.
That's right.
Sleep.
We
Sleep.
can talk about your kids forever.
Yeah. So I'll pretty much start off with some big scary facts on sleep, and then we'll get into like the stages of sleep, like what your circadian rhythm is, so your sleep cycles, what things kind of disrupt sleep, and then how to get a good night's sleep. So I've already spoken a little bit about like sleep hygiene and like not having caffeine after 12, and and like shutting things off at night and like calming yourself down and things like that. So we'll just do the more scary facts tonight, and then I'll send you the other stuff on the sleep hygiene. So this is really cool fact. So human beings are the only species that deprive themselves of sleep for no apparent reason. So if you look in nature, like the dog doesn't just stay up just for the fun of it, right? But humans will stay up watching Netflix and whatever all night, right? And you can say, oh, well, why haven't humans developed a mechanism to like store up sleep? And like, because some people think, you might have heard, or maybe yourself, you thought, oh, I got 6 hours last night, tonight I'm gonna do 10 hours sleep and make up for it. So sleep isn't like a bank. You can't accumulate a debt and pay it off at a later time. So it's a bit like your phone battery. If your phone dies, you can't be like, oh, okay, I'm going to charge it up to 200% and it will last longer. It's like once it's dead, you fill it to 100 and it's not going to do more than 100. So yeah, if you're getting less than 6 hours of sleep, your time to physical exhaustion drops by up to 30%. So that could be as simple as there's, just for this scenario, a boxing round is 10 rounds. So a fight is 10 rounds and you get 6 hours of sleep because you're nervous about the fight, you're going to gas out at round 7. You train for 10 rounds, but you're going to gas out at round 7 because you're 30% less, physically exerting yourself. The less sleep you have, the lower your peak muscular strength, the lower your vertical jump, and the lower your peak running speed. So just your work, you're not going to have as good a workout. And we all know if you have a good workout, you'll get better results to sort of keep going on and getting that progression, right? So 1 hour of iPhone use will delay the onset of melatonin production by 3 hours, right? So your peak melatonin levels will be 50% less. So does anyone know what melatonin is? Yeah, you heard of it? So it's a hormone that tells your body what time it is and when to go to sleep, right? So if I look at my phone now, I'm not going to be going, and my bedtime is 8 o'clock, I'm not going to be able to get peak melatonin levels until 3 hours from now. So like 10 p.m. So I'm already going to be asleep, but I'm not going to be in a deep REM sleep. So you'll learn about REM sleep as well. So we need about 7 to 9 hours a night. Once you get below 7, they can measure impairments in the brain, right? So your brain's just not functioning as well. And they've done tons and tons of studies, like ECG research and stuff. The shorter your sleep on average, they've correlated it and like connected it with the shorter your life is going to be. So the less sleep you are, the not as old you'll get, right? Insufficient sleep is the most significant lifestyle factor for determining whether or not you'll develop Alzheimer's disease, right? Alzheimer's, right? Sleep deprivation is so bad that the World Health Organization classifies any form of night shift work as a possible carcinogen, right? So that means you have a high risk of getting cancer if you just do night shift. So thank good you're not a nurse now. Well, you never did night shifts, did you?
Mm.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, I can understand that.
Yeah. The leptin and ghrelin, has anyone heard of those? They're food hormones. So leptin will tell your body you're full, and your ghrelin will tell your brain that you're hungry, you should eat. So with less sleep, the leptin, the hormone that makes you hungrier, is increased, so you get hungrier. And then the hormone that tells you you're full is going to decrease. I think I said that the wrong way, but yeah, it's bad. You get hungrier and you don't get as full. You're also going to crave those sweeter, sugarier, the sweeter foods, right? And you'll eat 200 to 300 calories extra a day, right? Which is going to add up to a lot. So men, this is crazy too. Men who sleep 5 to 6 hours a night will have a level of testosterone 10 years their senior. So I would have, if I was getting less than 7 hours of sleep a night, 5 to 6 hours, my testosterone levels would be the same as a 33-year-old. So it's aging you. Like, and testosterone is like the best way to build strength and muscle and all of that. So how many hours do you think would you have to stay up to be the equivalent of legally drunk? Legally drunk? Like you can't drive. Like how many hours would you have to stay up?
25.
25. Okay, it's 20, that was close. So being up for 20 hours straight is the same as being drunk, right? So a lot of car crashes will happen because of sleep deprivation. The total amount of car accidents with alcohol and drugs combined aren't as bad as drowsy driving. Right? So have you ever, the reason that is, you know, when you're so tired, your eyes start flickering. That's because that's your body going into REM sleep. So REM sleep is this rapid eye movement. When you start flickering your eyes and you kind of do that thing where you jolt yourself up, that's what's happening to these people that are driving. They're so sleep deprived, their body's craving that REM sleep, so they're going into it mid-driving, and then they're just crash. So it's a 60-kilometer missile just going into someone. So it's not good. Does anyone get, I know this is me, super irritable or anxious or crazy when they haven't had much sleep? I know Mum can attest to this.
Thanks, sweetheart.
No, as in me.
Oh, no. Oh, yeah, you're not good with that.
When I stay up all night and I'm just can't think clearly and I'm all irritable. Well, that's because when you're in sleep, your prefrontal cortex is going to recover, and your prefrontal cortex is going to control all your emotions. So you don't sleep, you're not going to recover and have control over all your emotions. So that's another good thing. That's what I tell a lot of mums, when they, speaking about babies and grandkids, if you don't sleep properly, then you're not going to be able to control your emotions. That little Timmy over there, playing with his toy, that's making a weird sound, you might not be able to tolerate it, and then you yell at Timmy, and then Timmy gets oh, why are you mad at me? I'm just playing with my toys, having a good time, and then Timmy develops anxiety and, I don't know, right? So a study is done with millions of people, in Australia and America and I don't know wherever else daylight savings is, right? So when we lose an hour of sleep from daylight savings, there's a 24% increase in heart attacks.
Really?
Yeah, really, yeah. And when we gain an extra hour, there's a decrease in heart attacks by 20%. So maybe that guy you were talking about, maybe he just didn't sleep that night. Yeah. So lack of sleep will also affect your gene expression. So you have DNA, and some DNA will be expressed and some will be suppressed. So genes related to your immune system, promotion of tumors, chronic inflammation, and stress are all expressed more when you're not asleep. They're switched on more. So over the stress seminars, I've spoken about how that bear's chasing you and you're stressed out and your heart rate's elevated, you can't get in that rest and digest stage. Well, if you're undersleeping and you're still eating less calories, so you're losing body weight, the body weight you're going to lose isn't going to be fat, it's going to be from lean muscle. So your body can use fat a lot easier for energy than it can muscle. So your body's like, I'm in a state of that bear's chasing me, I'm not getting enough food to survive, so I'm going to take energy from my muscle. So people will look at the scales, oh, I've lost 20 kilos in 5 weeks, like, good work, you're super stressed, you're not sleeping. All the weight you're losing is from muscle. That's why I get slightly triggered when I see a PT and their specialty is weight loss. It's like, anyone can specialize in weight loss. Like, it's fat loss that's hard. So this is the last crazy fact. Like, speaking of like nurses and night shifts and things, especially in the medical industry, like doctors that study and do all of that, what's it called? The not interning. It's when they do their placement or their whatever. You know what I mean? When their doctors doing, they do like a 20-hour shift in a row. So 1 in 5 medical residents will make an error due to insufficient sleep. 1 in 20 will kill a patient due to fatigue-related error. So people are dying because the doctors aren't getting enough sleep. Wow. So basically, sleep is going to be your greatest legal performance enhancing drug that most people are probably neglecting. Like, people are looking for this quick fix. Oh, where's a protein powder? Where's a pre-workout? When they're only sleeping 6 hours a night. It's like, bro, don't stop spending $100 a week on supplements. Just sleep 8 hours, and that's better than all the supplements combined. So have you ever heard someone, there's a stigma about like sleeping, and it's like related to, oh, you're lazy, oh, you sleep, oh, you need 8 hours of sleep, oh, you're cute, yeah, right? So people say, I'll sleep when I'm dead, and you heard people say that? Yeah. And I survive fine on 5 hours of sleep, and oh, triggered so hard. So it is more likely for you to be struck by lightning than it is for you to actually be able to be all right on 5 hours of sleep. So less than 1% of the population have that gene where you can actually survive less than 5 hours of sleep.
Because people always say they need different amounts of sleep. Like, I know I do need lots of sleep.
Yeah.
But then other people say, oh no, I am absolutely fine on sick. Like your father doesn't need near as much sleep.
Yeah, there's no.
So that's not true.
Him.
Really, everyone needs.
Pretty much everyone.
Okay.
Well, I'll try and tell Dad something, and he'll be like, "No, it's just this." I'm like, "Okay, yeah, can't." He's like Nana, yeah, just can't.
Yeah. It's a vague memory.
Yeah. And there's actually like a lot of, if you start connecting the dots, a lot of politicians and people that like work really, really hard, they're starting to like get these diseases like Alzheimer's and Parkinson's and all this stuff because in their youth they stayed up all night, like reading scripts or doing work or whatever, and they're starting to die and get all these diseases, which is, I mean, they can't connect that, but it's probably similar.
I've got another question for you.
Yeah.
Sleep before midnight versus after midnight.
So you're actually going to get into a deeper state of sleep in the hours from like 9 to 12, 9 to 11.
Okay, so you do sleep better before midnight?
Definitely, yeah. Well, it's going to, because you want your body to align with the sun. So depending on where you lived, like here, definitely when the sun's down, you're going to get your best sleep. Because when you go outside, there's another like whole seminar, but there's all these UV rays from the sun. There's like millions and millions of spectrums of light coming from the sun. Your eyes get it, goes to your brain, releases all the chemicals saying, okay, it's this time of the day. So your body's setting a clock and it's like a timer countdown. Oh, I've seen that light, it's 12 p.m. By 9 hours from now, I'm going to start shutting down and sort of going into my sleep, resting, digesting, recovering state. So that's a bit like with the iPhone. When you look at your iPhone, it's because, or any artificial light, it's telling your brain, hey, it's 12 p.m., it's midday. That's the light that we're getting. That's why I wear these glasses. It's because this is telling us that it's midday. So when we go to sleep, our melatonin, the hormone that's going to tell us that it's nighttime, isn't going to activate. So we're just not going to, we're sleeping, but the quality isn't as high because that melatonin, the hormone, we don't have it. Yeah. It's funny because grandma used to always tell me, I think I told you, but my grandma used to tell me, oh, every hour of sleep you get before 12 is worth 2. And I'm like, yeah, sure, grandma, sleep. And now it's reversed because grandma stays up all night eating chocolate. Yeah, she loves it though, so it's, yeah. Any other questions? Good? Okay. So the stages of sleep. So like with that melatonin, and when you're like really tired and your eyes are flickering, that's called REM sleep. So that's where we're going to be dreaming. So it's not actually the deepest form of sleep. That's why you wake up sometimes when you're dreaming, like in the middle of a dream. It's because you're in a kind of lighter sleep. And then your non-REM sleep is broken into 4 stages. And the later, like stages 3 and 4, that's when you're really that's when you're out of it. That's like really deep sleep. So you basically start like stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, REM, and then you go back down 4, 3, 2, 1, and then you kind of go up and down. So have you heard when you have a nap, it's like don't have a nap longer than 20 minutes or 40 minutes. That's because if you wake up in your deep, like if you have your alarm and you're in the middle of your deep sleep, like you're just going to be really tired. So you want to time it so you wake up in just before deep sleep or after you've done REM and then your light sleep. So it'd be 1, 2, 3, 4 REM, 4, 3, 2, 1 wake up. So it's about 90 to 120 minutes, somewhere in there is a good time. But this guy, hey?
That's a long nap.
Yeah, I mean, any nap before 40 minutes is probably good. You would either go, if you're like, oh, I only have 89 minutes to nap, then just do a 40-minute nap. That's going to be way better than you having an 80-minute nap because you'll wake up real groggy. Does that make sense? And also, if you take a nap, well, actually, I'll say that because we'll get into that in a second, about naps, with your circadian rhythm. So, I've spoken about this a bit before. It's basically your internal clocks. So you have a peripheral clock and your brain. So your peripheral clock is going to be your cardiovascular, your metabolic, your endocrine, your immune, your reproductive systems. So if you're eating food, going for a run, taking an antibiotic, or your immune system's working, or something to do with any of those systems, your body's like, oh, it's time to be awake. Like, we're going to start processing all of those things. So I'm hearing a lot like don't eat before bed. Like, have you all heard that? Like, yeah, so basically when you eat before bed, your body's still going to be digesting and you can't switch off into your recovering sleep state because your body's like, I can't shut off everything and work on my brain if there's stuff in my gut, like trying to digest. And then your brain clock is going to be affected by all of your senses. So sound and light, super sensitive. So imagine trying to sleep when it's really bright and there's like loud banging going on, like just not going to happen. So light especially, that's why these glasses. And you can do this setting, if anyone has an iPhone, you can make it, this isn't the phone that I have it on that phone, but you click it 3 times on the side, it's like a setting, and then it turns red. And then it's like, oh, the sun's down, I'm going to make my screen red, and then I'm not getting any sort of blue light through that. And then use candles and salt lamps, or very like at least dim your lights, or try and turn off like half the lights in your house, because you're, like I was saying before, your brain's going to set like, oh, it's the middle of the day, and then you won't be able to get like a deep quality sleep. Other cool things that will help your circadian rhythm is called your cortisol awakening response. So when people wake up in the morning, you get a surge of stress hormones like cortisol. That's why sometimes if you feel good in the morning, you're like, oh, I feel like I have energy, right? If you wake up and you don't have energy, it's probably because your cortisol, your stress hormones are a little lower. And then ideally it would be a line that's like, you wait, like this is your cortisol, and this is the morning, this is night. You would start up here and then you would go down. And inverse, so you wake up with no energy, and then at night you try and go to sleep and you're just like wide but tired, and you're just like going and going and going. That's because your cortisol starts really low and your body's like, oh, we haven't had cortisol, like I'm gonna have some more cortisol. And then you have some people that are just like bleh, and they're just like all down here, like all the time. They have no energy, no ambition, just because their body's secreted that cortisol for so long, they're just like, actually, I just give up. You can die and get hit by a bear and just be like down here all the time. So ideally, it would be start up in the morning and then go down at night. You also have something called sleep pressure. So to do with the naps, if I wake up in the morning, I'm building up sleep pressure. So I've been working all day, so I'm gonna go home and I'll have a good sleep. If I went home during the middle of the day and had a 90-minute nap or a 3-hour nap, right? Then I'll wake up from that nap at like 2 p.m. and I'll start my sleep pressure all over again. So I might not be able to fall asleep in like a deeper sleep, because my body's like, oh, we just slept like 7 hours ago. I don't need to sleep. Like you're not that tired. So what will happen? And I had a client this morning I was telling, and he was getting 6 hours at night, and then he's having a nap 1 hour during the day. And he's like, but that's 7 hours, isn't it? I'm like, well, I'd rather you sleep all the way through the night, because he was waking up a couple times, and I'm thinking that's because his body's not that tired to stay asleep. So if he's having a nap, he's kind of impacting the sleep he's going to get at night. So the more sleep pressure you have, the more tired, and the deeper quality your body will be like, okay, it's time to sleep. Because I think we've all had those days where you're just out, and then you just wake up and you're like a big day. Does that make sense? Sleep pressure? Do any of you nap? You'll have jobs. If I had the PTs in here, everyone would be like, yep, that's me.
It's still fun on the weekend if I was tired.
Yeah.
Do you have a nap like the worst after?
Yeah. How long would your nap go for?
Maybe an hour.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so you're running that.
But we didn't really ever get into a deep sleep.
Right.
It was just like, you're just laying there.
You just lay there.
And you get up and think, oh, God, I'm the worst.
Yeah.
But I'm not a napper.
Yeah.
Whereas when I was thinking sleep, even, it might be alright, it might be 40 minutes or less.
Okay, yeah.
A bit more. It's like, oh, good now, but I'd be like, I could do that.
Yeah. I envy those people that their superpower is just like falling asleep.
Yeah.
Like on a plane, oh yeah, fall asleep. I'm like, how do you do that?
I know. Especially when you're sitting, unless you're in business class and you're like,
Yeah.
Well, you need to talk to Stephen about his sleep. That's a too big a discussion for now, but he's a bus driver. So it's his job. And, you know, he might go up at 4 in the morning and then work for, say, 4 hours, and then you've got 5 hours off before you go back to work to do it all again. So he has to have sleep in that in between bit because he's tired. So that's a whole other conversation. But
Yeah, he's gonna need like a
he
six,
does not
six,
fit or sleep
a 6 hour long
at
consult
all.
to sort of
He
this.
will.
But he drinks some alcohol from time to time, does he?
not while he's trying to bus off.
Yeah, just before I
Well,
ask him,
buses
though. Yes, he does.
So alcohol and cannabis, if anyone's like that,
No.
will affect your REM sleep. So they'll kind of like affect your getting into that dreamy REM sleep. And you need a mixture, a balance of REM and non-REM sleep. So if you're drinking a lot, like every night of the week or like majority of the times, it's going to affect your dreaming REM sleep state. So you're not going to be able to fall asleep and get all your memories back and recover and get all those things before, like running faster, lifting more weights, having better memory, having less cardiovascular heart attacks and all this like crazy stuff. So alcohol, like that's usually like the easy things. Is like stop drinking so much caffeine, drink less alcohol, and stop taking naps, and then you sleep. Like, oh, okay, I'm sleeping a lot better now. So they're like the basic things. Other things that are going to disrupt your sleep, like I was saying before, your senses. So sound and light, especially. So Liam, my friend, he's moved to Melbourne. He's got roommates and they're very noisy. So he's got some earplugs, and he said like they made such a huge difference. Like because his roommate would come home and right in the middle of his sleep, open the door, bang, 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 and he would wake up. So he's got some earplugs now, and he sleeps way better. So lights, make sure it's in a dark room, so pitch black, no light at all. Other things like smell, touch. I don't know about, like, so if someone's in the bed next to you and you feel them moving, or maybe there's a dog that's sleeping on your pillow. Yeah. And then
someone puts their cold feet on you.
Oh, like that. Like that.
I'm not gonna king size a bit.
Gross.
Just feet.
And then I don't know how taste would really affect your sleep, but maybe if you didn't brush your taste, so like a sense of your taste, maybe you like, I don't know, maybe if you're eating something and you haven't brushed your teeth, or I know that feels weird for me, but it's probably like sound, light, touch, and smell are probably the big ones. So yeah, smell, lavender oil, really good, and that's going to help calm you down. Other things that will disrupt it is your hormones. So remember I was saying your cortisol should hit you in the morning. Sometimes if you have like a higher GI food, like if you had white potatoes right before bed, in the middle of the night, your body will, oh, I have energy from potatoes, and it'll spike your cortisol, and then you wake up. So that might be why you're waking up early or in the middle of the night, because your hormones, your cortisol might be going up, your testosterone and all your other hormones, maybe your melatonin's off. Things like stress and anxiety. So like an athlete, if they've got a big game, like the boxing, he's going to fight tomorrow, he can't sleep because he's thinking about it and he's just stress and anxiety, they're going to really disrupt your sleep. Your diet, just what you eat in general, so everything I talk about, like processed sugar, flour, alcohol, toxins, right, a lot of things like that, they'll just in general affect your liver health, like I've spoken in the detoxification. And if your liver's like trying to detox all of these things, it's not shutting down. So like, it's just like digesting food. If your liver's detoxing all these toxins, then your body's like, oh, I don't have time to shut off my body and recover my brain because there's all these toxins I'm trying to repair. So that's something I've been working on with my coach, because I was waking up a lot at sort of 3 a.m, which is Chinese medicine. They say it's the liver. I don't know how, but Chinese medicine, 3 a.m. is your liver. And that's because I was on, I think, it's probably the Roaccutane I was on, which is, I think I've spoken about that before, but the acne stuff I took just like bombs my liver. It's getting better now though, and some milk thistle will help with that at night. So organ health, like I just said, so the liver will remove the toxins, the hormones, and will keep you up. Temperature is a big one. So you want to actually sleep in a room that's about 18 degrees. So it's pretty cold. So think about a caveman, like cold, dark cave. You want to be, and you need your face to be like 2 degrees colder than your body to be able to fall asleep, or something like pretty cold.
Sorry.
Maybe 10 burpees Don't you love when that happens in like a classroom or something? They're like, oh, I'm really sorry, and then they go, hello? And you're like, what? You did yeah, so alcohol, caffeine, and something else like sleep apnea. So if you're like waking up constantly because your neck's too big or your tongue's getting caught and you're snoring and things like that. So sometimes you actually need a machine to keep you out. Can anyone else think of things that sort of disrupt them at night? Like what wakes you up? Life.
Probably sometimes on a Sunday night because I'm starting. I must be starting to think about work.
Right. Okay. It's like the anxiety. Oh, I have to go back to work.
Well, it's not that. No, I'm not anxious about going back to work. It's more like I'm already planning what I'm doing the next day. And
Right.
It's hard to switch the brain off.
well, I can go
Yeah.
to sleep, but sometimes I'll wake up during the night, and then also my brain's like go to the toilet, and I'm awake.
Right. Okay.
And then you start thinking, oh, that's right.
Oh, the worst is when you wake up, you check the time, and it's like you say your alarm's 6, and then it's like 4, and you're like, oh my god, 2 hours, like, and you just feel so tired, like, oh, can I? Like, I think last night I woke up and I'm like, please, Lord, let me check my phone, and it only be like 10 p.m. because I could not get up right now. Like, what has happened? And I looked, and it was like 1 a.m. Oh, thank God, I can go back to sleep. When you check and you're like 2 minutes to your alarm, you're like, no, please, snooze.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like everyone that hits snooze, it's because your cortisol's probably not up. Like, so many girls do. Do you guys do that? It's like snooze like 5 times.
My dogs are like, yeah, we get up, and then I'm like,
I always wake up before the alarm, but I still snooze
yeah,
it anyway.
same.
No, I don't. I'm terrible.
I hate the alarm waking up.
No, you snooze again. It's terrible.
Have you ever done the trick where you're like, okay, I'm not hitting snooze tomorrow. I'm going to put my phone in the other side of the room, and I'm just going to force me to get up. And you're like, no way, I'm just going to stay here. I'm not getting up. I'm just going to leave it. Yeah. So how do we get a good night's sleep? Like, oh my God, that's crazy. How do I get a good night's sleep? So adding in the Facebook thing I had, like how to optimize your sleep and little things you can add in one at a time. So it might be as simple as going for a walk in the morning, looking at the sun, being like, hey, it's this time, it's the morning, so in 16 hours from now, let's get ready for bed. Or just reducing your lights, and just add one thing at a time, because you could smash everything. And I always say this to clients, I could give you like the best program to best sleep, best food, diet, training, like whatever it is. You'll follow everything for a month, and you're like, actually, I really don't like tapping myself on the head 16 times a day and like closing my eyes and going la 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 or whatever, like, and you just stop doing it, and then you just lose all the habits. So it's like you're going to be doing this for the rest of your life. Like all these things about sleep, you want to create habits that like for the rest of your life. So don't be like, oh, I'm going to add like 10 things tonight. Like I'm going to go home and do all this stuff, because it's not going to last. So you want to little things at a time, and make it things that you're going to like win at. So if you say if you're going to bed at like midnight now, saying, okay, I'm going to go to bed at 8 p.m. every night. It's like, that's probably not going to work. Maybe like a couple nights, but you just like, and then you get disheartened and you're like, oh, I can't do this, and you just give up. So like, oh, I'm going to make my bedtime 11:30, and then go from there. So make sure you hit it. Aim for, so like I was saying before, like a caveman, cold, dark room is probably like the first thing to go to. And that's like you don't really need to do anything. You just buy some more curtains, or don't turn the heater on at night or whatever. And then the next thing, the biggest thing, is consistency. So this would be for Stephen, even though he has to wake up one morning every 2 weeks at 4 a.m, maybe that's one time a week at 4 a.m, then he should probably wake up at 4 a.m. like every other morning. That's a bit ridiculous. Actually, 4 a.m. is a bit crazy. Let's say it was like 6 a.m. and he was sleeping till 8 a.m. all the other mornings, okay? Go to bed at 10 p.m, wake up at 6 every day, no matter what.
Yeah, that's not gonna work. It's starts at a different time every
A
single day.
hypothetical Stephen that would listen. That's
no,
what,
he starts
that's
at
what
a
you would
different
do.
time every single day. It's crazy.
So whatever,
Right.
say 4 a.m. is the earliest, wake up at 4 a.m. every morning. Or go to, at least, bare minimum, go to bed at the same time every night.
Yeah, we try and do that.
Consistency is king because that will lap over into your quality, right? So 3 things with sleep: consistency, quality, and quantity. You do consistency, it's going to overlap into quality because your body's going to associate midnight with, oh, I've been sleeping for 3 hours now. So you do the consistency, the quality will come, and then over time, oh, I've been going to bed at 8 p.m. every night. That's easy. I'm just going to go 7:45 for a week, and then I go 7:30. Oh, now I'm getting 7 hours of sleep a night. Boom. Consistency, quality, quantity. So just think those 3 things. And then the habits, and there you go. Then you'll never get all those page full of bad things. Is there any questions on that, or little? No? All good? So in summary, something I'll leave you with to ponder as you're trying to fall asleep tonight because you're like, oh my God, am I going to die of a heart attack tomorrow? In summary, sleep is not an optional lifestyle luxury. Sleep is a non-negotiable biological necessity. It's your life support system, and it's Mother Nature's best effort at immortality. So it's going to keep you alive. And the devastation of sleep deprivation throughout today's society is leading to a catastrophic impact on our health and wellness. Everyone's health. And I was going to put a statistic in there about the medical industry, and they spend like $200 billion on like these faulty prescriptions and doctors and things that they do, like $200 billion. And then the education system as well. When school starts so early and kids have to wake up early and they're losing an hour of sleep, and their tests are like 40% worse because they're not sleeping. And it's so crazy how I think back to school. It's like, oh, I've got a test tomorrow, I'm going to stay up all night and study. It's like, no, it's like the worst thing you can do.
I don't think you ever did that.
No, I didn't really care. No. It still didn't work.
That was not your thing. No.
Yeah.
No.
I still don't understand how I didn't do like PE, and if I could go back to school, I'd do like PE and English, just like writing, and just like this stuff. Because it's like the only skill you actually really need in life is to write and talk. That's the only thing you need to do, is it?
Well, it's good to have those.
Yeah. Yeah. Any questions? What was the biggest, like, wow, really? Like, you can get a heart attack increased by 20% if you don't sleep. If you lose 1 hour of sleep, like, what's the craziest? Nothing was crazy?
Oh no, the
All of it?
Alzheimer's thing.
Alzheimer's?
Resonated with me, given that your grandmother's got dementia.
Yeah, undiagnosed dementia.
No.
Oh, she has it?
Yeah.
Been
She has
diagnosed?
dementia, it's just that there's different forms of
It's a
dementia.
spectrum.
And that hasn't been definitively diagnosed, but
Yeah.
she has dementia. So that Alzheimer's factors.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the first thing you're going to change about your sleep? What are you going to do? Out of those simple
Light.
things, lights. Okay, good. I like it. That's good. What was the biggest thing?
I don't know, I've been working on this for a couple of
Oh, I
weeks.
know.
I still can't get 6 hours sleep.
Oh, no.
How bad?
Yeah, no, you had a night the other week where you had a sleep.
Oh, God.
It's like a testament to how good sleep is. Like, you slept through and you're like, wow.
Yeah. Between 4 and 5 hours.
Really? And then you
That's right, she's got that gene.
Did you feel alright though?
I love how, like, before this seminar, if you asked her that, yeah, I was like, and you'll be like, okay, yeah. Like, but now it's like, oh my God, call an
I would
ambulance.
be a wreck if I only had 4 hours sleep a night. I wouldn't be able to function.
Well, I don't know, somehow I do function, but then I
Yeah.
slept for 6 hours the other night and I woke up and I was so energized.
Oh, really?
This is how you're supposed to feel when you wake up.
Well, that's interesting though, isn't it? That you had 6 and you really noticed the difference when you wake up.
Big time.
Well, it's like anything, you just get accustomed to it.
Yeah.
You adapt to it.
Mm.
What about you, Sue? What was the craziest? Whoa.
I was thinking about the
The heart attack. Yeah.
That is.
Yeah. What's the first thing you're going to change about your sleep? It's a hint in the email I sent you today.
About meditating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, breathe.
Which is-
Telling me to.
I do try.
Yeah. Just what app do you use? You use Waking Up, don't you?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Waking Up. What app do you like?
Oh, you've put that through on my phone.
Yeah, well, which one do you
I'm
which
not
one do you
quite
use?
using any of them. I was using the 10% was the last
You
one.
like that one? See, I'll link them to all different people and they all like different things because 10% one is like
Matthew
some
put that one on
super
my
old,
phone, I think.
yeah, some super old guy that's
Yeah.
like
Oh,
looks
you
like
put
this and
Waking up.
he
Yeah.
shit and know you're shitting. Breathe and he's like this dude like a
Actually, I did
caricature of
notice, no, the
himself.
10% one's not as good as Waking Up. I prefer Waking Up.
Okay,
10%,
yeah.
there's a lot of like, it actually, there's nothing for a little bit. You think, is it finished?
Oh, I hate that.
Like I'm not.
And like shit, am I late for my session? Yeah.
You know, Waking Up is better, but I ran out of my free ones. So I have to.
Yeah, that's what I said to Sue. Just use as many free ones and just see what you like. Because imagine if you paid like $150 for an app and then you download another one, you're like, oh shit, I like this one better.
Yeah. The car one's pretty good too.
Calm's good, yeah.
Oh, yeah. but-
I have someone
yeah,
else
I
on
can
that.
put that on my phone as well. I've got lots on my phone.
I actually have the calm
Sure.
one.
Okay, yeah,
I like
good.
the calm one because it's got lots of variety.
Mm.
Yeah. Yeah, there's millions of them. And they're gonna keep coming.
A little lady at my work that does.
Hey Steve.
She does